Hi.
Hey,
Did you
Jillian,
like the face? Like, what's
you
going
couldn't
on?
figure it out, so I just did it for you. You're like
Yeah, I
looking all
appreciate that.
confused and stuff. Wow,
I
look, we
wasn't.
have 14 people watching already. That's amazing.
That's,
16, 15. It's jumping up and down. It's amazing.
it's
Wait,
like a
you know what we
telephone.
need to do though? We need to turn off a "We'll be on shortly" banner because that looks silly now. There we go. All right, way better now. All right, guys, thank you for checking in with us. It's super exciting. So what is it? It's like 9:20 in the morning for you, Jillian.
Yes, I just ate my breakfast sandwich that Derek made me. Oh, and I'm drinking my coffee. And
Oh,
now
I
I drink.
also am drinking coffee. I've got my NASA "Failure is not an option" mug.
That's a nice mug. Where'd you
Yeah,
get that?
it's really big. It's like the size of my head almost.
Where did you get that? Did somebody give it to you, or did you go to an
I
Amazon?
bought it at one of the NASA gift shops. I really like space. I don't know if you know this about me, but I don't remember which gift shop I went to, but whenever I'm like near a NASA thing or a space thing, I just stop. Like one of my favorite, this is a pro tip that we didn't even plan. One of my favorite things to do when I'm driving between Chattanooga and Detroit on I-75 is to stop in Wapakoneta, Ohio. Do you know what they have there?
Mm-mm.
They have the Armstrong Space Museum.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's
That sounds
right on
really
the
cool.
interstate. It's like a 15, I mean, maybe an hour at the most you're going to spend there. But because it's Neil Armstrong's birthplace, it's
That's
just
what I was going to ask.
chock full of really cool stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So we have a thing here, the Palomar Observatory, which is like this really big telescope, and you can like hike up to it up in the Palomar Mountains. And I love going up there. I mean, it's not a working telescope. It's old. It's kind of like it's like a museum now, but it's just really awesome to see. And you can actually, if you're driving right outside my neighborhood, you can actually see it. It's so bright and white. In the mountains, you can see it in the mountains sitting there. It's very, very cool. As a matter of fact, it's funny when I've been asked in the past by my kids, if you didn't do what you do now, what would you be? And the answer is an astrophysicist. I love space. The kids and I usually look out for meteor things and whatever's flying in the air, especially during the summer. And we've gotten up in the past in the middle of the night and driven to like a dark, empty field to watch things in space.
Yeah. Well, so two quick side notes on space stuff. One, I think that space, like when you look at the stars, is going to change dramatically in the next 5 years.
Oh,
So,
wow.
because they're launching all these satellite internet things, and the internet satellites are lower to orbit than most satellites because they work better if they have less, they have less distance to shoot a signal. And they're launching so many of them because they want global coverage that there's like right now there's like 1,000 satellites total, and in the next 5 years they're launching 30,000 of these.
Oh my
And
God.
they're going to be brighter than stars. So, like
It's going to
five
be
years from
confusing.
now,
Right.
when you look up at the sky, you're going to see lots of moving satellites and not very many stars.
Wow. So, okay. So if you want to know what's what, I have this awesome app on my phone called, I like how this is nothing we plan to talk about whatsoever.
Totally fine. So these 17 people that are watching right now didn't know what we were planning on talking about.
No. So, I have this really awesome app
But
called.
stay tuned because we have great stuff coming up.
Yeah. Don't leave. Well, I think this is still great stuff, and it's great especially if you have kids and they ask you what's that, you can tell them this is called Star Tracker, right?
Oh yeah, it's great. You can't
then,
see it because you're holding it off screen, but
oh well, not now. You can't see it, but if you hold it up to the sky,
there you go. Yeah, right.
Then you can see. I'm not used to this type of camera.
Yeah, I know because it's not mirrored like the other ones we use.
Yeah, but usually, like if it's nighttime and I look up this way, Venus is usually right up there somewhere. Anyhow, that's enough of that.
Yeah, so Star Trek is really cool. Quick side note, and then we really need to get to our more important topics. But I had Google Glass back in the day when it first came out. Wow, we got a Facebook comment about the stars actually. Yeah, I know. So this person's I don't know who it was but it says that their grandkids will never know the nights under the stars. That's a legitimate concern of mine too. So anyway, I had this star tracker app in Google Glass. So the little like thing in your eye, so you could just look up at the stars and it would superimpose. It wasn't that exact same app, but it would superimpose like constellation like drawing lines and tell you what stuff is, and you could like blink and it would zoom in on something. It was really cool, and that technology is definitely coming. So I think, and then we can move on from this, that it's really important for people to be looking at the stars now and remembering what it's like, and getting to really dark places without a lot of light pollution. Like once the coronavirus thing is lifted, it would be really cool to like go deep into the desert somewhere at night and just look at the stars, like way away. Like you have to be a long way. Like I was in Coober Pedy, Australia, which is in the middle of the outback, and then I drove out of town a little bit. Actually, I went to the dump, right? Like the actual city dump, because this guy that lived in an underground house, because they're weird in Coober Pedy, they live underground because it's so hot and in the middle of nowhere. It's a long story, but anyway, this guy that lived in this underground house, he said the best place to look at stars is the city dump. And I was like, okay. So I drive out to the city dump, and what it is there's this little tiny town. Coober Pedy is like a few, maybe like 500 people or whatever, and most of them live underground, but there's still some light pollution. But when you're in the city dump, there's this big hump, right, of trash, and it blocks the light from the city. No, it's because you're like on the backside of it, and like. Anyway, and it's really dry out there, so stuff dries up really fast. But anyway, you're on the backside of the dump, and it blocks all the light from the city, so it's like perfectly dark. And once you let your eyes adjust to it, if you don't have any like electronics with you or anything, and you're out there by yourself, like I was, the stars were so freaking ridiculous. Intellectually that some stars are closer than others, but when you look at the night sky, it's like a sheet with light in it, right? Yeah. But like when you're really, really dark like that, you can see like a 3-dimensional effect. Like you can tell some stuff is further away than others, and like the sky like pops out at you. It's insane, actually.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. We should definitely make a Last Life Ever trip to the city dump in Coober Pedy before the next 5 years, so people can see that.
Well, if you can't make it to Australia, to the city dump in that tiny little town, one other thing is if you're local here to Southern California, I was mentioning Mount Palomar. There is an astronomers club out there, and the astronomers club will bring out these big high-powered telescopes usually once per month, obviously not now, but usually once per month, and especially during the summer. This is awesome, right? And you go there, and the astronomers club will let you look through their telescopes, and they usually point the telescopes to certain directions and certain places. And one time my 9-year-old Tom and I went up there and checked it out, and one of them was pointed towards Saturn, so you could see Saturn, you could see the rings around Saturn, and you know, it was funny, my 9-year-old did it, and he was so cute. He comes down, he goes, "Mom, I just saw Saturn and it changed my life."
No, you know what's funny? I had an astronomy class in undergrad, and I saw Saturn through a big one of the big, observatory type telescopes in Grand Rapids. Granted, not like the best telescope in the world, but it's a similar thing where like they pointed at Saturn, and Saturn was like this big in the viewfinder, right? Which is insane. And you could see the rings really clearly. And I thought, kind of looks fake. Right?
It does look fake because it's like a little white, because it shows up white. Yeah, it does look fake.
Yeah, but it really does. But anyway, let's move on. So we wanted to talk about Diet Bet briefly. So Jillian and I, so Jennifer, we should have brought Jennifer on. What were we thinking? Jennifer, if you're watching, send me a message right now. So Jennifer, in our Last Life Ever group, decided to start a diet bet for us all because she thinks we're fat, apparently. So thanks for that. I'm going to call her J2. It's a lot easier that way. So J2 thinks that we're fat and we need to go on a diet. So she started a diet bet. But listen, I've done a lot of diet bets. It's kind of like Step Bet. It's the same company that runs the Step Bet challenge we're doing. But basically what you do is you bet $50 into this pool of money, right? And I think there's like maybe $500 in there right now because like 10 people have joined, but people are still signing up. So it might be a little bit more. And then you compete against yourself, right? Like the goal is to lose 4% of your body weight in a 4-week period. So like if you weigh 200 pounds, you have to lose 8 pounds in 4 weeks, right? If you weigh 100 pounds, you lose 4 pounds and everything in between and above and below that. Now, of course, if you weigh less than 100 pounds, I don't recommend joining DietBet because you would weigh way too little. Like Jillian, for example, you should not be in DietBet because they have a minimum BMI requirement, and I think maybe you might be below that.
That is very sweet of you, Jeff. You know how to be very, how a way to a woman's heart. But unfortunately, no, I will be joining DietBet too. I need to join DietBet just like anybody else, probably more so. I've been eating my way through quarantine. So speaking of which,
I weighed in last night on DietBet. Because you can start weighing in now. It officially starts Monday. You can join a day or two late, but if you join late, then you have less time to lose weight, right? So it officially starts Monday. You can weigh in now up to 48 hours before Monday, so you can do it now. So I weighed in this morning really early, and what I have to lose for my 4% puts me at what I weighed when I got back from Africa a month and a half ago. So apparently I've gained 4% of my body weight in the last month and a half. So the good news is it might be easier to lose. So have you joined yet or not?
No. Okay. So I found it and I want to just show it to everybody. It's called CornFit.
CornFit. Hey, go a little bit to the other direction. Look, there's Jennifer. See, like we got her on. She's giving us a little thumbs up. So CornFit, and we'll put the direct link to it in the comments to this video. In fact, I think you might be able to do that right now, Jillian, because you're on your phone. If you just share that link, but if not, don't worry about it. If you haven't joined yet, it might be harder.
This is super easy. Like actually, my Venmo is attached.
So anyway, so you bet $50. You weigh in at the beginning, you weigh in at the end, and what they do is they give you a special keyword, and you have to take a picture of yourself on the scale where that word is visible in writing so that they know that you're not cheating as the start point. And then it's a different word every day so they know what day you weighed in, and same thing at the end. And then you need 2 pictures of yourself that you submit. Those are just for their referees, like they don't get shared anywhere, but it's like a picture of you standing on the scale, full body standing on the scale, and then one of the scale where the numbers are viewable. So you do those 2 pictures. The app is really intuitive. It takes like maybe 2 minutes and you're done. And it's pretty cool. So, and I've lost some, I've won some. Unlike step bet, I've always won step bet, but the diet bet I haven't always been as good at. So, anyway, people should come join us and do the diet bet because you're just competing against yourself. And when Jillian loses, like she did with step bet, we'll be able to split up her $50.
No, I don't want to lose, and I feel like I'm getting my mojo back. Like my kids are getting better. Things are kind of settling down, and I am going to work on cleaning my house today, getting my house in order, just kind of sanitizing everything now that people are starting to feel a little healthier. They're not quite well yet, but they're in way better shape than they were. Yesterday was the first day they were actually not out and about, but like just up and, walking around the house at least. So I was very excited about that. How do you win? Somebody's asking, how do you win Fitbit? I mean, Fitbit, DietBet.
Yeah. So how you win is you just have to lose 4% of your body weight. So when you do that first weigh-in, it will, after they verify your weight, like the refs look at the pictures or whatever, they'll verify your weight and then they calculate what your goal weight is. And then you just hit that. So like if you weighed 200 pounds, you'd have to get down to 192. If you get to 192 in the 4 weeks, you win, and everyone who wins divides up the money. So if you lose, you're out like Jillian, and then you take Jillian's money and divide it up among the rest of the people.
Oh my God, that's so mean. I'm gonna do well.
How are you doing on that step bet?
Okay, you know what, Jeff?
Failure is not an option.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've been busy, and so have you. And what have we been busy doing? Let's talk about our next thing. Wait. Before we talk about the thing we've been busy with, the other thing is there's a couple of you in Last Life Ever who've volunteered to teach things, to help people with their diet bets, to help people with their step bets. Like Marissa offered to teach a yoga class. Marissa's I've never taken a better yoga class than I have from Marissa. So she's going to teach some yoga, and we'll do it just like the way we're doing now on StreamYard here. and stream to the group. And then Joanna also, I think it was Joanna who offered to teach a Zumba class. So we're going to kind of schedule some of those, and those will be probably only in the Facebook group. They won't be streamed. Like right now, you're watching this on my Facebook, and you're watching it on Jeff's Facebook, and you're watching it on the Last Life Ever page. But, just for privacy issues and other reasons, and maybe because these teachers don't want their stuff to be out live, we'll probably just stream it in the group. So if you're watching this somewhere else and you want to join our Facebook group, you got to join the Facebook group to take some of these classes.
Wait, who said they're in? Somebody on Facebook said they're in. Look, but unfortunately they aren't registered. So someone in our group, they just said I'm in. So whoever you are, tell us who you are.
So yeah, that's awesome. I'm super excited. I'm glad you guys are joining and signing up. And
in fact, I'm gonna go right now. I apologize. I'm gonna go on my phone right now, and I'm gonna find this live stream, and I'm gonna post the link to this diet bet in there, so it'll show up in the comments right now.
You can do it right here. What are you talking about? Oh, I guess you can't.
I don't. I have to find it on my phone. It's easier to find on my phone than it is there. So
no, I got you. So, but in the meantime, what I want to say is, while Jeff's doing that, is that if any of you have a special skill.
Oh, by the way, I just found out who it was that's in. It's Nicole. She says she's in, Nicole. So there, I just posted it in the comments of our group. So if you're in our group, you should be able to find that. But I will also show this stupid long post right here. And if you see that last little link, if you can figure out a way to type that down, you'll be good to go.
Type that down.
Yeah. Type it down. Diet, DB, whatever. It's too complicated. That's going away. All right. Anyway, so if people like Marissa would like to Nicole actually admitted that it was her now. So so the reason we can't see you is because if you're in the group when you comment, you have to have downloaded the app or something for it to work. But if you comment on one of our personal pages, then we'd be able to see you, which is weird, but that's just the way this particular software works. Anyway, so if anyone like Marissa wants to teach a Zumba class or whatever, we'll be excited to see.
Okay, you got this so wrong. Marissa's going to teach yoga. Joanna's going to teach Zumba.
Yeah, no, I know. If anyone else wants to do that, I meant
Pilates,
Zumba, Pilates.
Kevin.
Yeah, we'll have Kevin teach us how to do his modified burpee thing.
Yeah.
So Kevin, if you're around, you should show up right now. Give us a call. Tell us you're doing it. You're in. All right. So that's enough about that. So guys, join the diet bet. The link's in the group right now, and I'll post it on all of the different platforms as soon as I can. Anyway, so that's that. And then what was the last thing we wanted to talk about? The thing that we've been doing lately that's very exciting, and that is what, Jillian? What have we been doing?
We have been teaching. We have been writing a book.
We've been teaching ourselves how to write a book, it turns out. It's a lot of work.
We haven't actually even been writing the book. We actually went out and collected messages.
And I'll put the book up for people.
Please. Coronavirus Collective. It's available on Amazon. Now,
time out. It's going to be available on Amazon very soon. It's not actually available yet, I don't think.
No, but here's the thing. We don't even want, when it does become available, which should be almost like any minute now, when it does become available, we do not want you to buy it until we direct you to buy it. And here's why. And Jeff, you can explain why.
Okay, so here's the thing. This book, The Coronavirus Collective, is a book that's raising money for charity. All of the net profits are going to charity. So Jillian and I have donated our time to put this together. The book is together. The authors have all donated their time. None of those people are getting paid. They're all writing this stuff, and the money's going to go to charity. So we want to sell as many copies as possible. We've been researching how to sell as many copies as possible, and one way is to make sure that you get on the Amazon rankings for the categories that you're in. And it turns out we don't really need to sell that many copies to do that. We need to sell like 100 copies in one day. Now, Jillian and I don't want to go out and buy 100 copies in one day. So we need everyone who's going to buy the book anyway, and you all should, because it's great. I mean, listen, I've read everything in the book. It's amazing. It's just, somebody just said we're awesome. I have to share this. I don't know who said it, but I just feel like we have to share it when people say we're awesome. And I can't do it because I keep hitting the wrong button. There we go. Look at that. they're like, that's amazing. I don't know who said that, but thank you for that. Whoever that is, it's really great. But anyway, so we really, 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 really want to get this book in the bestsellers. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pick one day next week, and we're going to drag everyone in our personal networks, and you're going to do the same thing for us. We're going to share it on Facebook, and we're going to say, buy this book today, right? The price is $24.95, but we've lowered the price to $14.95 because we want to get as many sales as possible. So if you're thinking like, hey, I want to take this book that's helping people, because that's the other thing about the book. Like, every one of these essays is written in the first 3 weeks of the shutdown by people dealing with the same kind of stuff we're all dealing with. And what it's going to do, it was Elise that said we're awesome. So Elise, you're also awesome. Thank you for that. But anyway, so the thing is, all these people that wrote these essays are going through the same kind of stuff we're going through, and they're telling us what they're doing to deal with it. And it's so freaking amazing. I mean, like, Jillian, what would you say the number one takeaway for you is?
Well, I got some perspective, like, and I've said this before, there's a chapter in there by a woman by the name of Boya, who wrote a chapter on how she's comparing this quarantine to growing up as a nomad in Mongolia, and the differences between the two. And it just gave me a lot of perspective. And then the other chapter I really, really liked was by your friend Jason, who just wrote about using your time wisely, and he compared it to like the Iranian
Iranian Revolution.
And that was really, really kind of gave a lot of perspective as well. So those were probably my two favorite chapters, but there's a lot of really great stuff in there. I mean, the whole thing's really good. I wrote a really small, short chapter and put more of my efforts into putting the book together. Jeff wrote a really great chapter as well about about scaling Mount Kilimanjaro, which was really awesome. But look, here's the thing, guys. I hate it when somebody says all the proceeds go to charity, and they're really vague like that, because then the charity could be like, Hey,
look, Jennifer's here. Hold on. Wait. We got to make a quick. Jennifer, welcome.
Hi.
Okay,
so I sent Jennifer the link because we were talking about Diet Bet. She's missed out on that. So now we're talking about our book. So tell us about why you want to buy our book.
I want to buy your book because it's awesome. It's going to be amazing.
Yes. Yeah. But thank you so much for setting the Diet Bet up. How many people do we have in it right now? Do you know?
So I can't hear you guys. Very well. You're very quiet.
Well, you know what? I don't know what to tell you about that. Yeah, just put your head right up to the thing. All right, but anyway, totally cool that you showed up. We'll make you go away, and then you won't have to hear us anymore. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right. Well, that was fun. Sorry about that, Jennifer. Like, I wish you could have heard us better. But anyway, and also probably we should have invited her before we just randomly started talking about stuff, right? But anyway, so yes, you were saying, Jillian, about how you don't like it when people are vague about the charity. So let's talk about that for a second.
So for my purposes, one of the reasons I was highly, highly motivated to do this right now was because I, as many of you know, or maybe many of you don't know, one of my things is that I volunteer at the local food pantry once a week. Now, since we've gone into quarantine, I haven't been able to do that. And the reason why I haven't been able to do that is because I believe I got COVID. My two kids got COVID from me. And then, a lot of the volunteers, I mean, obviously you don't want to be hanging around a food pantry if you might have COVID. So I've had to not go there for the last, month and a half, almost 2 months. And that's very upsetting to me. And so I haven't been able to contribute. And so this was my way to be able to contribute. And so one of the charities that I will be donating my portion of the proceeds, my portion of the profits to is the Murrieta Food Pantry. And it's the St. Martha's Food Pantry, actually, in Murrieta. And then the other one is my friend Katie, who also wrote a chapter in the book, Katie McGill.
One of my favorite chapters, by the way. It's a great
was
chapter.
it really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So Katie McGill wrote a chapter. Katie runs a anti-human trafficking organization called Project Purpose International out of Mozambique, Africa, where she rescues women and their children off the streets of Mozambique from human trafficking situations, and she shelters them, educates them, feeds them, clothes them. I mean, just really provides for them. It's a labor of love. She's been doing it for the last 15 years, and she just felt like she had a calling from God. And they have a totally different situation in Africa, in these these third world nations when it comes to coronavirus, because they have other issues that they have to deal with once these things go on lockdown. Like she told me, a huge problem for them right now is terrorism, because terrorists have taken this whole thing as an opportunity to enact terror on people. So part of my profits will be going to those two organizations.
That's amazing. Yeah. And so for me, so what we did is we just decided that we would each decide where half of the money went, right? Because there's two of us, and someone had to make the decision. So I picked a charity in Africa also called it's called All Wings of Dawn. Basically, it's a Africa Inland Mission, and what they do is they fly people that are having medical emergencies and missionaries back and forth to remote airstrips, from hospitals to the airstrips. And when Rachel, who wrote for us, is a missionary with Africa Inland Mission, with her husband and her children in northern, in East Africa. And anyway, the point is, she wrote an amazing chapter about when she got sick and compared that, a very, very serious life-threatening illness, and compared that to how she's dealing with the coronavirus shutdown now. And I thought that was very, very fascinating, and I'm super happy to be able to donate to their mission. And then the other organization I'm donating to, and I might actually split it three ways. I haven't decided yet, because I'm really it's tough, but another organization I'm donating to is a mission family in northern or in southern Texas that does mission work in northern Mexico, in these remote fishing villages. And so I'm really excited to donate to them as well. So. But I think, we have so many great causes. Just the people that even wrote for the book, there's so many of them are doing really great stuff. And it's totally fine. We all have pets and dogs and family stuff going on in our life. It's a weekend after all. But I'm really excited to donate to these organizations. And I want to sell tons of books, because we're going to do things like Feed the Hungry, right, through Jillian's charities, and stop sex trafficking, and help people get emergency evacuations, and help people. Like the other thing Africa Inland Mission does is they make wells, right? They dig wells for these remote villages and provide fresh drinking water for people, in remote areas that don't have food and water, and quality things. So these are just amazing causes. And the thing for me is, even if it wasn't charity, I think you should buy this book, right? The charity thing is great, but this book is so good. For me personally, I spent the first couple of weeks of the shutdown thinking I was going to do a lot of stuff and not really doing anything but getting drunk. And then we started a happy hour, which is amazing, and you guys should join us on the happy hour. But then I just drank more, right? But then I started this. Jillian and I had this idea to compile this book, and I started writing my own chapter, and that kind of clarified my thoughts and kind of got me out of my funk. And then I started reading these other chapters as they came in, and every one I was like, this is my favorite chapter yet. And then this is my favorite chapter yet. And then this is, and I can't even decide. There are 26 chapters. And other than Jillian's, which is clearly the best, I can't even begin to decide which one's my favorite.
Honestly, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I got to correct the record. He's being facetious right now, because my chapter is most certainly not the best. It's probably the worst. It's absolutely the shortest.
Well, it is the shortest, but the reason we put it first is because it's the best. Well, that, and because it ended in a really weird way, and we were just like, hey, we might as well put this first, because why not?
Mine is the most uninspirational, just ridiculous chapter. Every other chapter has some kind of inspiration or thought-provoking thing, and mine does not. So just keep that in mind. And you read that, and it gives you a little bit of lightheartedness, and then it goes really serious after that.
Yeah, I mean, so the book is serious, but it's also lighthearted, right? I mean, the subtitle is messages of like love, light, and hope. I'm not sure about the order right now. I think I got that backwards, but the point is, it's like all this really positive, uplifting stuff. People are telling us like what they're doing mentally to prepare and how they're dealing with it. I mean, we have so many great authors. I wish we could mention every single one of them now, but I mean, it is literally, it's just really great. I mean, messages of love, light, and hope. Like I said, I think 26 authors, because we added one at the end. So the description on Amazon says 25, but there's like a bonus chapter hidden in there. And that bonus chapter is Jillian's amazing chapter.
So listen, hey, I also have to give a shout out to Brad Ball, who did the artwork on the cover of the book. Brad's an artist and a web designer out of Dallas, Texas. And
I didn't mean to make that go away, Brad. Sorry about that. Leave your art up there.
But you can check him out at bradball.com. Ball is his last name. So bradball.com. And he has some amazing art. And he also has some videos up there of him speed painting. He does speed painting, and you don't know what's about to happen and what he's going to do. And then something amazing happens. And a lot of it's Christian art. So it's really quite amazing, some of the artwork he does. So I really want to encourage everybody to go check him out, because I asked him like on the fly, hey, do you have something I can use for the cover? And he delivered like right away. And this was the result. So really excited to have this.
And apparently people in our group like it, because we have, I think this was Tiffany actually saying that she was just going to mention the artwork. It's beautiful.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. So
and I do love it. I mean, I didn't know what we didn't have any idea what to put on the cover. And so it's just amazing that like instantly, so much has come together, like almost so many authors like took time out of their day to do this. And then Brad taking time out of his week to put together this art for us. It's really inspiring, because all these people donated this stuff. It's like, I mean, people just put this stuff together, and it just shows the power of what we're doing and how important our message is too. Because this is so much bigger. Like if you're watching this on a different channel, you're not in our Facebook group, The Last Life Ever, you should definitely jump over there and join, because the thing is, like, what we're trying to do is help people live a better version of their life. And this book really does that. It follows our mission. It raises money for charity, which is really important to both of us and to the group. And it also is helping people live better right now, while we're in coronavirus. And I think this is something that in the future, people are going to read it, and it's going to be like a time capsule on this unique point in history. So, I mean, I know that sounds crazy to claim that, but it's so much better than I thought it would be. I thought, oh, this will be fun. And like, it wasn't fun. It was actually a lot of work, but it turns out it's just so worth it, because it's so amazing. So anyway, the point is, we're going to make an announcement in the next day or so where we say we want you to buy it on a specific day. We're going to provide that information. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to be doing as much promotion as we can. So if anyone knows anyone famous that wants to promote our book, they should do that. Or if anyone knows any like news people or anything like that, that might benefit from hearing about it, we could get one of us on, or we could get both of us on, or we could get one of the other authors on, in that market. And just like, we need to get this thing to explode, because we really want to sell as many copies as possible, feed the hungry, provide water for the people that need that fresh drinking water, all that kind of stuff. It's just super, super important. Plus, like I said, I think everyone who reads this book is going to take something positive away from it. So anyway, do you have anything else, Jillian, or are we good?
No, but when we direct you to buy the book, think of your friends and relatives at Christmas and buy as many copies as you possibly can.
That's right.
Because it's all going to charity. So $100, buy yourself,
That doesn't divide evenly into 100, but
$150
you buy yourself 10 copies for $150. It'll be on Amazon Prime, so you'll be able to get it shipped to you for free or whatever. It'll just be $150. You'll get 10 copies. And listen, if somebody I'm going to go right out. If somebody buys 10 copies, right, and they send me a direct message with proof that they bought 10 copies, I will buy 10 copies myself. And I will take those 10 copies. I will sign them all. I will send them to Jillian, and she will sign them. Is this okay with you?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And then we will give those copies away to schools. Let's find schools to give them away to.
Okay, that sounds great.
Unless somebody has a better idea. The point is, if somebody proves to me they bought 10 copies, I'll buy 10 copies immediately. I'm only going to do that 5 times. I won't do more than 5 10-copy purchases because I'll run out of money at that point.
I'll do that.
Okay, so you will also buy 10 copies up to 5 times.
Yes.
But listen, don't send me and Jillian both proof. That's cheating. If you want Jillian to buy 10 and you want me to buy 10, you have to buy 20. Because the point is, and you have to do it. And this is a one-day only offer. You have to do it the day that we make that announcement that says today you have to buy. So be ready to do it. Get your $150 ready, and then Jillian and I will be broke because we'll be buying a whole bunch of copies of the book also.
It's a good reason to be broke, though.
Yeah, it's all going to charity anyway. It's going to be amazing. So, all right, guys, I look forward to making this announcement soon. The book is going to be a great, great addition to your library. And also, you can buy like 100 copies if you want, and then we'll be really liking you even more.
Awesome.
Oh, and by the way,
guys,
this live was going to be 5 minutes. Jillian and I said we're going to go live for 5 minutes, and now we're 35 minutes in. So I'm going to end the broadcast now. Jillian, have a good weekend. Everyone else, have a great weekend.
We'll
We'll talk to you soon. Bye.